Welcome back to yet another racing review. This time for Saturday, April 12, 2025. And big up to all of the ones and ones who support this channel as we are growing and soon will be bigger and even better. So let's jump into the review. Looking back at the races and the major talking point for this race meet. Race number one saw Lord of Ajalan beating So Beautiful by a nose. It seems the only point in this race that Lord of Ajalan was in front of So Beautiful would have been at the wire. As a matter of fact, with my naked eye and a lot of other person naked eye, we didn't really see Lord of Ajalan being in front of So Beautiful. But the photo finish replay says that Lord of Ajalan won. So Lord of Ajalan won. So moving on from that one, a bit of disappointment for a lot of persons, especially considering that So Beautiful carried 52 kilo. 52 kilo, which is 115 pounds. And bear in mind that the jockey can slip, which means that the jockey did not slip, so that was disappointing. Anyway, moving on to race number 2, Tiger Amidat. Tiger Amidat won the second one, which was expected. Lion Charmer ran well as expected, along with Uncaptured Empress. Here Comes Doc. All doing well in that race as expected. The Dancer, though, in race number 3, showed that his win on debut is not a fluke. This one is better than all of the 5-year-olds that are running in restrictive allowance. He's going to win his next race, which will be non-winners of 3 company. And then he's going to win non-winners of 4 and go all the way up to overnight. This one is going straight to overnight, along with the horse that he beat on debut. Both of them are going straight to overnight. Nothing in this 5-year-old company to stop them unless you have another 5-year-old horse that pop up that adds setbacks like the Dancer. So the Dancer will win his next race. 101-1 is a smart time for 5 years old, non-winners of 2. And seeing that he beat the next best by 12.5 lengths, Xylophonic Steel, with a good horse for this company, then you know that this one is going places. The question will be, how good will he do once he reach overnight? That's the question. Let's see how he develop and improve, although we don't expect much development and improvement at 5-year-old. Race number 4, Anna Prince won it in the Stewart room against Runaway Star. Runaway Star did better than I expected. Runaway Star seemed to be a big one in the making. Prince Roy was the biggest disappointment in that race for me. A lot of interesting observation in that event. I probably could do another video just solely talking about the Prince Consort stake and the Thornbird stake. But for this one, I won't go into detail with my observations in that race. But Runaway Star looks to me as if he could lead a Jesus sweep of the Guineas, and I soon tell you why shortly. The Guineas looks to be a match race between Anna Prince and Runaway Star based on what we have seen so far. Although there might be other horses in the field that might have something to say come Guineas Day. Race number 5, was a Thornbird stake, won by Answer, who was working well for that race, beating Social Aviator. Social Aviator was leading, then rallied again. I'm thinking that if Social Aviator gets another furlong, this one could beat Answer, although it could be said that Tajay Suko was not doing much on Answer, and Answer also had a lot of running. Burning Edge was a source of disappointment in that race. Danka, good little filly, but the Guineas seemed to be between Anza, Social Aviator, Burning Edge. The only other horse I could possibly throw into that mix is Cost of Living. So, those are my 4 for the Guineas, assuming they all stay fit, although horses can improve overnight and horses can go backward overnight. Summer Palace was a huge disappointment, along with Miss Moneypenny. Keep an eye out on those though, because I suspect that when both of these horses come back to track to run in non-winners of 2 company, they could be winning. Race number 6 went to Galloping Devolove, and that was a no-brainer really. That one was a no-brainer. This one is not as frequently run as the other horses in this event, and this one is better than the field. Princess Catalina, though, was coming and could have created a massive 29-1 upset. That is almost something that would have upset the upper card. The pick 6 page, 42,000. Had that Princess Catalina caught Galloping Devolave, it would have paid 400,000. Race number 7 went to Cost of Living. Cost of Living ahead of Benison and Midnight Runner, the 2 fancied horses in that field as colts. Cost of Living showed that her defeat to Khaleesi was nothing to sneeze about. Khaleesi is a good racehorse, and you must keep your eye on Khaleesi. Cost of Living returned to show them that she has quality. Race number 8 and race number 9 went to Radish Roman in an impressive show of fearless force. Race number 8 went to impressive force ahead of Unspun and Supremacy. Supremacy was a disappointment in that race. Supremacy was down in 6. Kem, though, was a surprise. Kem was coming late on to create an upset, but Kem came a bit too late in a time of 127 for impressive force. And if you thought that was impressive, which 127 isn't, but Fearless Force did 125-1 to beat Sheer Delight, and that was the easiest exacta of the day. That was a stone cold exacta. That was a sell your house and buy a exacta. Sheer Delight. A lot of persons were saying that that one was going to win. But when you look at the handicap for that event, 112 to 126, Sheer Delight is not that big of a racehorse to be beating a 112 Fearless Force. Come on. That was a no-brainer. Fearless Force at 3-5. A banker. The last race went to My Sunshine at 15-1. Beating Undisclosed Location by 8-1. At 8-1. Now, I must confess, I have not seen that race. That was the only race I did not see because I had to go somewhere. And I didn't see the race and I haven't watched the race as yet. Of course, I'll watch the race sometime this week. But I've been hearing the fans saying that Walker should have won that race. But knowing that the fans seems to have a pick against Walker, I don't know how seriously to take that one. Surprisingly, I can tell you that Walker is not the jockey at track that throws away the most races. I can tell you who it is because I have empirical data on the jockeys that loses the most races as favorite. But I won't be doing a video on that, not providing that information to anyone. I'm just keeping that data for myself, being that I made it an habit not to dunk down on jockeys unless they're doing something obvious. Anyway, my talking point for this race meet, and when I say doing something obvious, I mean something obviously bad, like clearly pulling up a racehorse. Anyway, speaking of doing something bad and clearly pulling up on racehorse, I deliberately said this to let you guys know that I have a video on this channel that will be premiering tomorrow or Wednesday on Big Tony, a guy who fixed so many races that he found himself in jail, convicted of fixing races. That will be an interesting watch. Anyway, the talking point for this race meet is Radish Roman once again and Tevin Foster. So you're saying, how is Tevin Foster the talking point of a race meet and Tevin Foster didn't even ride? That is because Tevin Foster is no longer among us riding at Caymanas Park. Tevin Foster has decided to start a new adventure, and I must say, congratulations to you, Tevin Foster, for the bravery of being a big bull in a pen and deciding that you're going to go to another pen to become a big bull. Some people are saying that if you're a big bull in a pen, why are you leaving that pen? But I will say that sometimes you have to know what you want, and being a big bull in a small pen when you can be a big bull in a big pen is showing that you don't want to grow necessarily, right? It seems that you're comfortable just being a big bull in a small pen. And Tevin Foster said, no, I want to be a big bull in a big pen. Now, I'm not saying that other big jockeys who doesn't move are contented with being a big bull in a small pen. Different people have different reality, different circumstances. Some people probably don't want to relocate their family, don't want to be away from their spouses. Some people just love Jamaica badly and isn't necessarily one who wants to ride overseas. But there are others who probably want to ride in the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stake, all of those big races, want to ride at tracks like Gulfstream and those tracks. So, big up yourself, Tevin Foster, for making that big step. And with that, I will say that Radish Roman will win the 2025 Jockeys Championship. His only competition in my books was Tevin Foster. Now, you might be saying, what about Shane Ellis? Shane Ellis has the ability to win this Jockey Championship easily, very easily. But first, you have to secure the rides, and you have to win on these rides. Radish Roman teams does a better job at securing rides than Shane Ellis' team. Could be that Shane Ellis is picky with his rides. Who knows? But Radish Roman gets more rides and better quality rides. And he have a better win percentage on his rides than any other jockey currently riding at the track. Robert Aladdin is also someone who could be competitive if he spent the entire year at the track. But in a showdown between Roman and Aladdin, I'm taking Roman to win far for more reasons than one. Roman is someone who seems to be more determined, someone who makes less mistakes than most other jockeys when he's riding in the saddle. And Roman will win races at all different odds. Roman, if memory serves me right, won a 5-timer one race day sometime last year, and the pick six paid around 77,000. How many jockeys who are chasing championship can win 5-timer and pick six pays those type of money? And if horses were the long shots in that pick six, so you can't be saying, oh, he won on some easy horses, and then an outer came out and won in other races that kicked other people out of the pick six. No, he was the one who was kicking people out of the pick six. So Radish Roman now, with those wins on impressive force, and Radish Roman won an impressive force. Did he win another race that day? No, why do I have it in the back of my head that he took a 3-timer? Anyway, Radish Roman winning an impressive force now move his tally up to 27 win for the season. Behind him is Robert Aladdin, Oddball Aladdin, aka Public Enemy number 2. Won't tell you who is Public Enemy number 1. Aladdin is second behind of Radish Roman. Aladdin is on 20 wins for the season. Shane Ellis is on 18 wins. Now, another talking point, the third talking point outside of the Jockey's Championship, is Tajay Suko and Richie Shakes. I'm making a bold prediction that with Tevin Foster gone, and those 79 mounts that he would have ridden so far this year, it is clear that he had probably another 200 mounts this year. If Tajay Suko and Richie Shakes can get their hands on a sizable portion of those rides, these two jockeys will be in the top 5. Suko and Richie Shakes. Remember, Dawkins is gone, Foster is gone, or 4th and 5th. Suko and Shakes will be in the top 5. They're riding well as apprentices. They no longer claim 4 kilo as of Saturday. However, these two youngsters are showing that they don't really need to be claiming 4 kilos to be competitive. Although we have seen a lot of times where apprentice comes to the track and they ride very well when claiming, but once they are no longer claiming, they fall by the wayside. But I don't think that this will happen with these two youngsters. The future is bright for Richie Shakes and Tajay Suko. Tajay Suko is being represented by the same agent that represent Radish Roman. You know what that means. It's business time. Anyway, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And look out for other videos on the channel as we are ramping up the production on this channel to bring you more and more racing content. Peace out for now.